What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Test Your Might, the weekly video game debate show. But this is just a news update here today. We're holding the debate off for a week just because it was Mother's Day, so we didn't record on Mother's Day. And so today we'll just be discussing the Xbox DRM stuff, the Gotham Knights trailer that was just revealed as of this morning of the recording, and as well as Square selling to the Embracer Group. But first, Justin, welcome. How you doing today, Justin?
I'm good. Always happy to be talking about acquisitions, of course. I love that topic. Unlike a lot of people, I enjoy hearing about companies trying to get better. So I'm looking forward to that. And also that Xbox DRM stuff, risky.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. So a little bit of housekeeping, listeners. This is Test Your Might, a part of the What the Fun podcasting network. We did do a rebrand from the 90s First a couple of weeks back. So just I'll have that link down below just so that you could see all the details. I know that most of you listeners are, caught up and everything, but just want to still make sure that everybody is caught up. And then as well as we had our last episode of Test Your Might with Ryan McCaffrey, IGN host and executive editor over there. So please go ahead and check that out. It's been our biggest episode ever. So thank you so much for just the love and support on that episode specifically, and the episodes that have been following and surrounding that. As well as finally, we did have our Moon Knight review. So go ahead and check that out. I'll have that linked down below as well. So check out our review on the finale as well as the season as a whole. So that was me, Justin, and Joe. So, Justin, let's get into it today. Can
I say something really quick? Yeah. I just want to thank all of the listeners and viewers alike for our last Test Your Might episode with the new rebrand and Ryan McCaffrey. It was our most viewed episode so far. We just broke about, I think, over 100 views on that video alone. And if every one of you just click that subscribe button, we would have that custom link going. I really appreciate you guys listening and viewing us and enjoying what you see. Mm-hmm. And I hope we can bring you more content like that soon. So thank you.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is that we just want to get to that 100 subscriber mark so that we could have a custom YouTube link, and then just continue leaving us reviews. We love to hear them and we want to read them on the podcast as well. And also that Test Your Might episode is at 127 downloads on podcast services. So it's going out well. So we really appreciate the support. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so today we're going to be discussing, let's start off with the Xbox DRM stuff. And Justin, I don't know if you saw this, but a bunch of the community over the weekend was having issues playing their video games. And what it came down to was that the Xbox Live service was down, mm-hmm. and therefore it did not give access to people's digital downloads, basically. Kind of like this always online type deal that kind of screwed Xbox over a little bit back in the Xbox One era.
I remember that, with the Kinect, I believe.
Well, no, just with not being able to share games, all that stuff, and the always online. And yeah, so I mean, it's still around. To be fair to Xbox, every single video game console, I believe, except the Switch, still do it. Like, you still have to have access to online services to play your digital games, but it is a problem in a sense. So, Justin, what are your thoughts on this? And then we'll talk about maybe some solutions.
A lot of it is about rights and preventing piracy, which is okay. I like that concept of keeping people from stealing things that they should be paying for. But if you do own it, I think it should reserve a license on the console itself. So that way, even if you're not connected, you are able to play for, say, 24 hours without connection or something like that. So that way you would always be able to continue to play and not just get instantly booted from the game if a service shuts down. I do like the fact that it prevents piracy, but I don't like the fact that it's just so frustrating if you pay for something you pay for a Blu-ray movie of something or a different game, an old school game. We never thought of, they're just going to not allow you to play it because you're not connected to the internet, or watch it because you're not connected to the internet. It's kind of a little bogus, but I understand where they're coming from. There's plenty of ways, like I said, give them 24 hours of offline and keep a reserved copy on the console itself. Easy fix.
Yeah, so I agree that it is a problem. People should have the ability to access their digital downloads, the games that they have purchased digitally. They should be able to play no matter what, especially if it is downloaded on the hard drive itself. I mean, even if you want to make the disclaimer that it has to be connected to the internal hard drive, then sure, whatever, that's fine. I think what you've gone down the road of is a couple of solutions that I also see is that, you should be given a grace period of being able to play these games without having internet connection. And whether that is 24 hours, like you said, whether that's 10 hours or so, they still should have the ability to access their games. People should. Now, I didn't run into the issue. I played Xbox over the weekend. I didn't run into the issue at all. But I know that a lot of the Xbox community did, so I definitely feel for them. I do want to play devil's advocate, though, just a little bit. These things happen. Like they do. Like these things happen. Xbox is going to go down. PlayStation is going to go down. Switch Online is going to go down at some point. And I'd be willing to bet that the majority of people who suffered from the Xbox stuff, I would say the majority of people have a secondary console.
True.
Have another way to play video games. So like my devil's advocate here is that like you probably have another console. Go play that console. It's okay. You don't always have to be on the Xbox ecosystem, or better yet, read a book. Go outside. Like I understand the frustrations, and what I'm saying right now is not. It's not, I don't want to downplay your frustrations, because I'd be frustrated too if I didn't have the ability to play. My 5-year-old would have been frustrated because we were trying to play Harry Potter over the weekend, Lego Harry Potter. And if we didn't have access to it, we wouldn't have been able to play. So I totally get the frustrations. But at the end of the day, like, it's not that big of a deal. They fixed it within a day or two. And I don't know. Like that's just my gut reaction. Like, okay, like if I was having an Xbox issue, I have a GameCube, I have a PS2, I have a PS4, I have an Xbox 360, I have a Switch. Like I could play other games if I really wanted to play video games. So that's just where I'm coming from.
No, I completely understand you. You know, the fact that they were so prompt to fix it and get on top of it shows that they're listening. They saw the uproar and they tried to fix it immediately, which is very big. And that's you know, that speaks thousands of wonders for companies in general.
Yeah. And this is also not me saying that it's not an issue. That's not what I'm saying. It is an issue. Like Xbox does need to figure something out. And I believe that the grace period is certainly the best option. Yeah. Because you know, some of the tweets that I've read over the weekend too about it was that it's not just an Xbox issue. It's also the developers and their games. They've decided that they need to be online as well. So like there's several different factors to it, but at the end of the day, like it's going to be okay if you're not going to be able to play Xbox for one day, but still get a fix. Anything else on that?
No, that's a great, I really do like the grace period idea. That's something that could just easily be implicated or implemented, and
I would hope
should be able to solve a lot of problems. You know, I have a lot of friends that go to other people's houses, download things, and go back home where they don't have good service. But, you know, just a grace period. I'm sure, I think Steam does that right now. I believe I heard something about that. Like Steam you can play offline for a while before you have to reconnect or something.
Oh, yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, so, I don't know. It's an option.
A fix definitely does need to be implemented. I will 100% back that. And you know that this whole situation like goes into a conversation that has been had around the world, and that like, do we really own our digital games and stuff like that? And I think the best course of action is to implement that grace period so that we start getting better feelings about purchasing digitally. Because obviously if you had the disc for that game, you probably could have played it over the weekend, but because it was digital, you didn't have that opportunity. So a lot of things to consider. Hope that they figure something out here. So, all right, next topic. Square Enix sells Tomb Raider, Deus Ex Studios and IP rights to the Embracer Group. Now, the Embracer Group, they have, I think it was something staggering, like over 800 IPs under their belt. Like, just a lot of things, 800 IPs that, majority of them will never be explored, but it's ridiculous how much they own. And Justin, reading here from GameSpot's article back on May 2nd by Darren Bonthius, he says Embracer Group has announced that it has acquired Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, Square Enix Montreal, and a catalog of IPs from Square Enix. Now, Justin, don't freak out. Are you sitting right now?
Yeah.
Okay, you're sitting? Good. The $300 million deal will see IPs such as Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Thief, Legacy of Kain, and more than 50 back catalog games added to Embracer's portfolio. Justin, your reaction to $300 million for this?
It's shocking. It's the amount that's shocking, obviously. Everyone agrees with that. But I think of it from more of a business standpoint, right? So I don't think I don't think that Microsoft, I don't think that Sony was looking at these IPs at these companies, because honestly, they're not that profitable right now. I know they have hope they could be, but they aren't big money makers, right? And from a business standpoint, these companies didn't really have a lot of gain in the future. They were just kind of like, I know Square has been looking to sell their Western companies. They want to get out of that. I foresee Square and Sony having some kind of partnership in the future, but I really think that, of course, they looked at them. Sony and Microsoft looked at them and probably did their homework and looked at it and saw that, it's not really worth it. And if they're selling for 300 and Microsoft didn't snatch it up, that speaks wonders. That speaks a lot, because I don't feel like, I would love, personally, I would love for Microsoft to just be like, nom, like Pac-Man, and just grab everything. But that's just the fanboy in me. But I feel like these IPs aren't that beneficial to have. When it comes to Blizzard and Activision, those were great ideas for the company as a whole to grow. But when you look at these, it's just like, you got Deus Ex, which is almost dead, if not dead. Legacy of Kain, old school, dead. Thief didn't do very well when it came out, so it's pretty much dead. It was a great stealth game, but no. Tomb Raider, they rebooted it, but the margins it didn't make a lot of money, and that's what it is. It's all about these companies making games and making money from them, not little tiny margins, like big margin. You don't want to make enough money that you could slip into not making money. You know what I mean? You want enough.
I think Tomb Raider. I think the issue is that Tomb Raider alone is probably worth $300 million, in my opinion.
True. If we could, I'll look at the numbers while you discuss, because I want to see exactly how much it costs to make, based on how much it made.
Yeah. So I mean, like, it's just interesting to me. Like, they have 88 million lifetime sales, Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
And average that out maybe to like 40, maybe to like 40 or something, like $40 times 88 million, like 88 million copies.
Now, I also,
so I don't know. I don't know.
I also have this weird theory, and you know me with theories, right? That Embracer, like you said in the opening of this discussion, they are massive. They have a lot of IP. They're not by any means a monopoly because most of their IP is dead or non-profitable. But
so you're thinking like a Smash Bros type game, yeah? That's what you're thinking?
No. I'm not going there either. I'm looking at that would be awesome. But in the future, possibly it could be a contender.
No, please don't.
Embracer is buying. So you look at Microsoft. Let me start here. You look at Microsoft and Sony, and they're buying up the big fish. You know, we've got Blizzard and Activision. We've got Bungie. These are big fish. Bethesda. And then you've got Embracer trying to eat up the smaller fish to grow into that mid-sized fish. So I think that once all said and done and all the big fish have eaten the medium fish, if you're following, I feel like Embracer is going to have a bundle of all of this IP and garbage, but some nice games like Tomb Raider and good IP.
Well, I mean, they also own they own Gearbox as well. Yeah. They own they bought THQ Nordic, so I mean they have a bunch of the THQ licenses as well. I think that Embracer Group can really just develop some great long-standing titles, whether single player or multiplayer or otherwise. Especially adding the likes of Crystal Dynamics now. Crystal Dynamics is still going to work on that Tomb Raider, the new game, kind of the reboot type deal in Unreal 5. So that is still a thing, as well as they are still working with the Initiative to get the Perfect Dark game out as well. So there is still that partnership, even though there is this buyout. I don't know, Justin, I know that 2014 Thief game, I think you played it and enjoyed it. What are you most looking for? Yeah. What are you most looking forward to with this, with kind of this acquisition, and what IPs do you want to see revitalized? Maybe, I don't know.
Legacy of Kain. That is
okay.
My PSX
that's
childhood.
That's what everybody is calling for.
There's a rumor for it. Soul Reaver was also good, but if they make a good Deus Ex and not try to cram microtransactions into it like crazy, like Square wanted to do to make money, I think a Deus in 2022 would look and feel amazing to play. That futuristic sense, we just got Cyberpunk and it didn't do so well at first. If we get a standalone game that's Unreal 5 engine, looking great, I think it could revitalize the IP.
I think the Deus Ex is I think that's really the unsung kicker here, the unsung hero to this, because I know a bunch of friends, Brian, a friend of the show, who are huge fans of not only the originals from back in the day, but the rebooted, 3D action version RPG. And if they could bring that back in the fashion that you're saying, I think that is really going to boost this purchase up a lot. And honestly, I think they see. The crazy thing about this, Justin, is that I think they see the return of $300 million with the new Tomb Raider alone. Yeah. That is what's crazy about this purchase to me. I think what the biggest deal was is that what you're hinting at was that, game publishers like Xbox probably would have scooped this up maybe for $50 million more or whatever, if they knew it was this low. But with them kind of entangled with everything going on with Activision Blizzard and them trying to, get over the FTC and get through those checks and everything, Activision actually, their board members have already approved the sale and everything. So, I mean, I didn't think they just wanted to scoop this up, because they definitely would. This is pocket change to Microsoft,
Pocket change. This is what falls out of their pocket with the lint. But there's two things that Embracer can do with all this IP. One, they can try to revitalize IPs that are dead or dormant and make them back in the fray of things, and then license out exclusivity for individual titles, which they would make their return back very quickly. Or they could sell all this IP to one giant fish, and that is an option. It's going to raise the price, obviously, like a giant bundle of IP, all this legacy content.
I don't know if they'll do that.
If they don't see returns from the IP revitalization, then I think that it's an option for sure. I don't know. It's like it's up in the air. They can make great games. I don't think that like Crystal Dynamics is going to drop Perfect Dark after the first title. I think there's probably a deal involved with Microsoft if it does well or something like that. We got to see something
from that first. I mean, to make any
true,
true. Besides a CGI trailer.
It's possible. If there is a deal involved, I don't think that maybe Microsoft had that deal. It's possible that they had a deal and they just were like, no, I'm not. We don't need to buy them. We're, exclusively working with them on the side.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
cool. Well, it's crazy. It's shocking. It's news.
It is news. And people read it.
Oh yeah.
I think last thing I want to say on this is one. I really hope this Tomb Raider is one of my favorite franchises. I didn't play Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I played the first two. And so I really hope that Crystal Dynamics is just given the space to bring this back, to where the 2013 reboot was. And that's one of my favorite games of all time. So, and also definitely. I really hope that Eidos Montreal still has the ability in the future to make a Guardians 2. I haven't played the original Guardians of the Galaxy just yet. It is installed. It's ready to go. I plan on playing it here soon, but I know that game is so beloved. And I really hope that they get that opportunity to continue that franchise. And finally, Square Enix, switch your expectations. Seriously,
that's never gonna happen. No.
You need to, because these franchises have done well for you and you still think that they haven't. And I'm sorry, but you need to switch your expectations. But we got to move forward. Justin, I know you didn't watch the trailer, but I did. The Gotham Knights gameplay reveal trailer for Nightwing and Red Hood came out this morning. Just a little update from WB Montreal to give us a little tease as to what's coming October 25th. Justin, this is my most anticipated game this year. I know you're not too hot on it, which is okay. Whatever. You don't have to be. But yeah, it's something where this gameplay trailer was just something that I needed. And man, it's looking good. I think that the biggest...
I saw, it looks amazing. That's for sure.
And I think the biggest thing here that the biggest news that came out of today was the fact that they are no longer developing for the previous gen consoles. It is only the new gen consoles and PC, so PS5, Xbox Series. So I really think that this game is going to be one of those system sellers for the next gen, like not necessarily one system or the other, wherever you play it, PS5, Xbox, it's going to be great. But what I think is that this is going to be one of those very, very pretty games that gets those people to think about their last gen hardware and want to upgrade. And who knows, maybe that's to the Series S, which is a cheaper option. Maybe that's to one of the big guys. But Justin, talk about Gotham Knights here really quick, and then I'll get back to my final point, and then we'll talk about what we've been playing.
I played most of the original Batman games, not Arkham Knight. I didn't play that one yet, but I do own it. They always have that atmospheric, visual spectacle that is Gotham, and I feel like in the next gen, in the new generation, those things will fly with colors. Well, not fly, glide with colors. And I feel like
Nightwing has a glider. That's pretty cool.
I feel like they will do great. I do think I don't know if it's a console seller. It's definitely I want to play this. I need to upgrade because I've played this back catalog of Amazing Glory. I think that the video that I watched, the combat looked fluid. It looked good. The bad guys looked detailed. It definitely is raising the bar compared to where they came from. I'm pleasantly surprised and happy that it's going to be a next gen only. That is very big.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. I think it's going to just cause us to. I don't think it's going to be a system seller in that sense, but I think that people are going to. Excuse me. I think people are going to see this game and want to get the next gen console. I really do, because I watched it in 1080p. I didn't even watch the 4K gameplay, and it still looked phenomenal in 1080p. So, I just want to add this caveat to my gameplay style, listeners, is that if you watch the trailer and saw Red Hood, I don't know if I'm going to be touching Red Hood. He's more of a range character, with his guns and everything, non-lethal guns, obviously. But he's in just the way that I want to play my Batman family games, like, yeah, I want to be in the thick of the fight. I don't really want to deal with like upgrading weapons or anything like that. And just the range aspect of Red Hood, I just don't like his gameplay style. So maybe that suits you. And what's really cool about it is that this is 2-player co-op online. So like if somebody is Red Hood and like I'm Nightwing or something and I'm in the thick of it and he's hitting from the outside, like, I think that can offer some really good gameplay experience, but for the most part, I don't think I'm going to touch Red Hood based off this gameplay release.
Yeah. I've got one little more tidbit of news. Just popped in on the 9th of this month of May. I know I didn't tell you about this, but Xbox is reportedly launching an Xbox streaming stick. I don't know if you heard about this. Jeff Grubb reported Microsoft is thought to be working on an Xbox streaming device, which would allow access to Xbox Game Cloud service and hundreds of console games as a purely streaming service, either a stick or a puck. It will be expected to carry Xbox branding. Yeah. How do you feel? Completely remove the need, right?
So, I mean, in the words of Thanos, I am inevitable. Like, you know, there's just those things that like, they're so inevitable. I mean, like you just think about the ease of what a Roku stick is or what an Amazon Fire Stick is like that. Like this, it could happen. It's such a, it's almost a surefire guarantee. Not only that it's going to happen, but that it will be successful. Yeah. And especially on the heels of them announcing last week that Fortnite is free to play through xCloud.
Yeah.
So I mean, Fortnite is the biggest thing in the world.
Fortnite's back on iOS with Xbox streaming right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's those types of deals that Xbox is going to make that make these streaming sticks worth it. And it won't be a huge gamble, because it will be successful. There's no way around it. It will be successful. I mean, you even think about you think about the, Chromecast and Stadia and stuff like that. Like, although it failed, we've had our very own Cicero Holmes give us the details about it, that at least it functions, like it works, but they didn't market it well. They didn't do the thing well, and Xbox will do the thing well, so. Yeah.
It's like removing the need to buy an expensive console. Number one, check in the box. Number two, accessibility. Let me see here. So on Samsung smart TVs, it will be an app, which is something we've discussed for a long time. Just have that app. You don't even need to buy the dongle, and boom, you have Game Pass. That's huge. Just the accessibility aspect of it being everywhere. These are the moves that are going to make Microsoft grow to heights that we couldn't even imagine. These little things like this, these little chess moves are the smartest things they can do, and I'm glad they're looking into it, of course.
Yeah. Really quick, Justin, what have you been playing?
Not a whole lot. I did purchase a game recently. I did not tell you I purchased. Mike and I game share, which is the Stanley Parable Deluxe Ultimate Ultra Edition on the Xbox.
Okay.
I did own it on the PC, and I enjoyed it very much. There's new content and stuff. Mike, you're going to play this game. I'm letting you know. Play this game.
Okay. All right.
It is family-friendly, funny, narrated. Not even a walking sim, more like a standing still sim with narration. But you do move around and do some stuff. You could literally beat the game in like 10 minutes if you follow all the directions. But there are a plethora of other endings that are fun to go through.
Yeah.
Learn the backstory. Other than that, been rocking it with Pokemon Go and the fam. Catching things, raiding things. Starting to get back in the swing of things. It's pretty good. It's fun. Trading. Everyone wants my shinies. I haven't played in 2 years, and I pick it back up, and everyone wants my shinies.
Yeah.
But that's how it is. Enjoying, having fun, hanging with the kids.
Oh, good. I went on Facebook Marketplace and I found a free CRT TV. And because I wanted one for my retro consoles. I know that's a shocker. But the retro consoles just play better on those TVs. And so I found one. It was free, and on the bottom right of the CRTV, it says Xbox ready. So they clearly made this around the original Xbox time frame,
So
which was really funny. And I didn't hook up my Xbox. I don't have an original Xbox. I hooked up my GameCube, and I started Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
Wait, it's GameCube ready too?
Yeah, GameCube ready too. I have Wind Waker. Wind Waker is a Zelda game that I have not played yet. So I was really looking forward to starting this adventure. And it looks great on the GameCube still. I think it holds up. I think the controls are a little wonky. I don't do inverted controls well. And they have inverted controls on there. So
Really?
it's a little weird, a little wonky, but for the most part, I'm having a good time with it. So, yeah.
I'm really weird with that as well. Like inverted controls, the only thing that I'm able to really get my hands on and play is like flight games because it's more like you're pulling the stick. But other than that, it's very difficult for me to. Yeah. Sorry, continue. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Yeah, that's it for this little news episode, listeners. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to us. If you want merch, I forgot to mention this at the beginning. We do have a store on cottonbureau.com that shows the Test Your Might logo as well as the What the Fun logo. So please go ahead and check those out. I'll have the link down below. Again, we're not looking to really make a buck. We just wanted to give people the option to grab a shirt if they wanted to with the brand new logo. So yeah, Justin, that's all I got for today. Please leave us a review, like, comment, and subscribe. Me and Justin, we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.